Meow, Huples cat, and of course, Biscuit cat. One of the few pleasures in my life is getting this every couple of months. And this one is the June 2021 Apocabox. Don't know what's in it, no idea, haven't seen anything online. I think a lot of people have actually stopped subscribing to Apocabox because they need to increase the prices and they need to go back to the quality stuff they used to have. But until they do, I'm subscribing to it for the time being. So I don't know what's in this. Apparently one of the products was very delayed and apparently added something to it. It is pretty heavy. So let's open it. This is where I pretend to be a real person in the prepping world and have a multi-tool. This actually is a husky one. I do have my Bear Grylls knife floating around, but I actually took it out the other day and it's in a drawer. So treat all blades with respect. Get it so it's 5. Done. And then before you rush to open the box, carefully protect the blade from hurting you. So what's in the box? What's in the box? Biscuit actually likes to sit in these boxes. A bag. Nice bag for nuts. Wilderness walk. Wilderness walk? Wilderness walk. And the bump. Ooh, that's a pretty little thing. Must be the skills challenge, and this is what's in it, which I won't read yet, but you can have a look at it. A cookbook. I like these. Nice pictures there, eh? And what this says is, and I'll show you what's going on while I say it, we had dreamed for a decade of doing this type of camping wok project. We are very pleased to bring you this little cooking outfit and hope you have as much fun finding ways to use it as we did putting the project together for you. Okay, so it's reptile tools, still maintaining colour. So no surprise, most of the recipes are for the people who like to eat dairy and meat and fish. But something like this is always a useful product. Do I need a wilderness wok?
I've had morels prepared many different ways, but none is better than sauteing them in a little bit of butter and garlic.
There's this. Appears to be a wooden chopping board. If you use meat, dairy, eggs, fish, try not to use the same chopping board for all of them. Though I imagine in the wilderness it'd be a problem. It's not too heavy. I might carry this around with me just to have a stable platform in the wilderness. Wok. This appears to be a wok lid. It also appears to be stainless steel. Oh. Has a little handle on it, which would be very, very, very hot, I imagine. And it also has the logo. I don't know about you, but I very rarely use wok lids. Occasionally for steaming vegetables, but usually we steam vegetables in a traditional pan. I haven't used a wok for ages. We do have a big one. It's a little scratched on the inside. That's the label again. So yeah. So what would have been good for a wilderness wok would have been a screw. So you could lift it up with the stick and lift the whole thing up. But there is no screw. So this is merely the lid. To be frank, I probably would never carry that with me. I'm not sure I'll carry this, but it's a big size pot. And I think it will fit on my BioLite stove. Unfortunately, all of my stuff is packed away. So I'll have to wait to see. What else is in the box? Actually, I laugh at this, but this sort of a product is absolutely a real time saver. Usually because I'm vegan, when I cook products when I'm out camping and kayaking and hayaking in the bush, I usually have a lot of water around me and I usually have a lot of sand around me, and to be frank, it just cleans out very, very simply. If you've ever had a vegan meal, you know how easy it is to clean pots and pans afterwards. So when you start rendering animal fats and stuff like that, you have problems. But I'm not unpleased to get this. Oh, there's not a lot in the box. Bladio. Coutre pliant birdie noir, which with my vague French says is a folding knife called the birdie, and it's black. Plastic handle. It's a plastic handle. It's made in China, so I know it's reliable. Okay, it's very similar to the types of blade he sent before. Got an attachment point which is good. Fairly sharp. Doesn't lock. Careful using this type of a blade. I think I'll stick to my buck when I'm chopping stuff up for cooking. One day people will stop using plastics and stop pretending the world is disposable. However, that will get put away. It's a cloth covered in tea tree oil to clean me in the wilderness, because you have to be clean. Oh, and a piece of wood, I guess, to make a wok spoon. I may have to actually use this. That is it. That is what I got for my $65 American. So I'm not pleased, but I'm not displeased. I am more walked out. What I'm going to do, I think, because what I normally do with this sort of product, I just shove it in the cupboard and put it in a box and wait for the world to end, and then maybe I'll find a use for it. But I actually think this appears to be stainless steel, and very noisy. You have to very much cover this up in the wild. I think I might read the instructions, because it's supposed to look like that. And that's pretty. Wilderness wok, dandelion greens, how to season a carbon steel pan. What I know about wok seasoning, that's not enough. Just seasoning it once is not enough. Usually woks need to be seasoned 3 to 4 to even 5 times before they're actually okay to use, and you still have to re-season them on a fairly frequent basis. This is what they actually say about this. The group from China that made these beautiful little woks, for me, sent to me their seasoning instructions. So he claims that because he's seasoned cast iron, he's okay to season stainless steel. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so what do they say? They use fat skin, I don't know about that. Ah, yeah. So they're saying season it 3 to 4 times before use. Go through the whole process. So they're also saying lightly season it after you've used it with olive oil. To the kitchen. So I'm preheating it for 10 minutes, and they have to be in the oven while that is happening without being treated. I am using the baking sheet that I use for my masks to recycle my N95s. I'm not going to use the cooking baking material for this, because who knows what oils and stuff are on this. I'm going to use canola oil because it's what I have available. And I'm going to use toilet paper to dab it on. I don't know about you, but turning this into a wok spoon actually sounds like a lot of work. I'm not altogether sure I can be bothered. It's also not sealed. Wood's okay, but stuff gets in wood. I'm not really keen on using wooden tools for cooking. In the apocalypse, if you go into most houses, you'll find something like this. This is probably slightly lighter than this, therefore it's more portable. It's definitely more usable, and it's also sealed, which is a very important thing. It has an insulated handle, which again is an important thing. One of the advantages of using a baking tray for the preheating process is I don't have to put an oven mitt on and reach into the oven and pull the stuff out. I can just grab hold of the baking tray, put it on top of the oven, and then do the pre-seasoning before I put it into the oven for an hour at 400 Fahrenheit to actually do the first proofing. And like I said, I'd probably do 3 or 4 of these proofings. The manufacturers tell you to, and I think that's always a good idea. Certainly with cast iron, a lot of people will tell you how to season it, and it's vital you season them. But usually I find if you season them 2 to 3 times before use, it's actually a lot easier to use them later on, and they don't rust as much. So I'm going to use toilet roll because I don't have paper towels for a waste. So if this doesn't work, and it may not, I'm just going to use a cloth, clean cloth, and then wash it afterwards. Canola oil. Yellow from Saskatchewan. Now the base is the one that really needs to be done. and it's hot. Be careful. I'm going to do both sides of it because you know what? I kind of like the colour. If the colour goes like it does on the book, it'll be good. See, there is filth coming off this. Might have been a good idea to actually dishwash these first, to be frank. There's a lot of industrial oils in here. They come from China. Right. Done, or am I? So now it's telling me to put it back in the oven for an hour and to have a foil and a baking sheet on the pan to catch any oil and drips, and to put the pans in upside down. I think they only really wanted you to do the base. I just really wanted to do the top because if I get that lovely colour, it'd be well worth doing. So let's get the baking sheet ready. So I would definitely advise you to have a baking sheet already in purpose so you can actually use everything. It's going to make life a lot easier. So, aluminum foil. Very rarely use this because we're vegan. We have it. Parchment paper. You can't have too much of this stuff. It's always a good thing to have. And then these go in upside down for an hour at 400 Fahrenheit. I'm going to trim the baking sheet so it doesn't catch fire. So I'll see you in an hour and we'll see what it looks like. As I said, this is what Creek Stewart's recommending. Do this once, then start to use it. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this another 3 times in total, and we'll see how it turns out. And how did it turn out? So 1 hour in the oven, canola oil. It's kind of got yellow canola oil on it. I think the bluish blacky pattern that I'm seeing on the thing is probably caused by actual wood smoke cooking. But that's the first one. Let it cool off, see how it goes. And there's the base, nice and yellow from burned canola oil. That's it from me, the vegan prepping chef, and we'll see how it goes. Like I say, with it being able to use, I think, on the BioLite stove, this actually will have some utility for me, but I really don't think I'll be carrying the lid around. I think I'll just be using it to like absolutely get some dandelions, get some local foraging, or bring some food in with me, and some rice, cook the rice on the wok, and then just add the food in and stir it around. I think that actually be kind of good. Remember to count in your own spices and sauces because bland is boring. If you like this video, please give me a subscription because it's vitally important to my ego, and a thumbs up, preferably 2 thumbs up if you can, because that really helps my sense of self-worth. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down, tell me why. If you don't like Apocabox and you just automatically give Apocabox videos thumbs down, consider what you're doing with your life. Could it be better spent? Toodles! This has been a Sleeping Cat production 2021. Shh.